Hey there pen fans, Brian Goulet of GouletPens.com, and if I got a special treat for you today, I'm going to show you the 2021 LAMY Safari Special Editions, which harken back to the original Safari colors that they had. I'm going to show you the pens, compare them to some of the originals that I actually have, and talk about what inks might pair well with them. Let's check them out. And here we are, folks, the Terra Red and the Savannah Green. Gotta say, I'm pretty excited to see these because they look so much like the originals. While I don't have original fountain pens, I do, in my personal collection, have original, in the Savannah Green, I have a ballpoint, which is one of the few ballpoints that you'll find in my collection, as well as a mechanical pencil. So this is the original Savannah Green that came out in 1980. I don't know exactly what year this one was made, but I would assume fairly close to that. And then I have the Terra, I believe it was called Terracotta Orange back in the original, instead of the Terra Red, but same color basically. I mean, if you look at them, to be so many decades apart, you're talking 40 years, and to still be so spot on with the color, I gotta say, LAMY, you really nailed it. This looks so fantastic. I am thrilled to see you bring these back. Looking at the Savannah Green first, the original color maybe had a little more yellow to it, but I mean, it's pretty darn close. I think it looks great. Overall, the design aesthetic is pretty similar. You can see the logo really hasn't changed very much, at least from this one. What's interesting though, because this is an original, this was before the Berlin Wall fell, so it actually says West Germany stamped up here at the top, which is kind of cool. So you don't see that anymore. It just says Germany over here on the back. Still got the original accoutrement. It's got the black clip. It's got a black nib. Really spot on, really true to form. Here is the Terracotta, Terra Red. This looks really spot on. I mean, it is pretty much indistinguishable. You would think that this was a pair that would be offered today. This one also has black trim accents, including the nib, the cap, finial, and the clip. So while we're here comparing colors, I thought I would pull another LAMY pen. There was a special edition previously that they came out with in the Studio. Now the Studio, this is the Olivine. This has a lot more yellow to it. A little bit more of a deviation in color, which is fine, honestly. They weren't really trying to match the original on this one, but this was not like a super widely available color. It sold out pretty quickly. But if you are familiar with this and wanted to see it compared, I thought I would at least show what it looks like compared to the Savannah Green. So comparing the original Terracotta Orange to the Terra Red, I thought I would also bring in the Terracotta Studio, which was a special edition previously available. This one is much darker, much more of a copper kind of color. I just wanted to show what it looks like maybe in comparison so that if you have one of these or were interested in it, you could get an idea of how it compares. So similar, not necessarily super matchy. Granted, you got plastic and metal and everything here too. And then I also have a copper orange all-star, which is much brighter, much more vibrant, more of like a true orange color, and not as much of a terracotta, a little less red to it. And I thought that would be, you know, an interesting comparison, so you could kind of see all they have going on. And then just for fun, because I love bringing this pen out whenever I can, I do have an orange Safari as well. This one is shiny, this one is much brighter, but it would make a nice little comparison here. So nice little collection of oranges here, LAMY. I gotta say, you really nail it with these orange colors. Great job. And then basically, just because I can, I have a whole bunch of other LAMY variations of green pens. Okay, this one's really more of a turquoise. This is the candy from last year. Here you go. Here's a bunch of the apple, the I forget all the names, but anyway, just wanted to show you some of the other ones of how they've looked. This one is definitely on the darker side of any of the greens they've done. They really haven't done a whole lot of matte greens other than the candy. So this is really cool to see. I'm loving these. So if you're one of those people that likes to match the ink to their pen, you're gonna have to go off-brand for this one because LAMY unfortunately did not come out with inks to match the special edition pens. It's kind of understandable. You know, we've had this like whole COVID thing going on, and I think their ink production has maybe been more limited and stuff like that. So I think it was a little harder for them to do that this year. But even still, I think there's a lot of great ink choices that might match each of these. So let's start out with the Savannah. A lot of great colors here. I think Monteverde Olivine could be really nice deep olive color. Noodler's Army Green, maybe a little more yellow to it, but that's pretty good too. Platinum Classic Forest Black. Now that's an iron gall ink. And this one is kind of interesting because it will go down as kind of a forest green, but then it'll actually darken because it has iron inside the ink. And so it'll actually oxidize as the ink is on the paper and kind of turn black. But I thought that kind of matched because, you know, it's got the black trim and everything, but just be aware that iron gall is not your typical inks, a little higher maintenance and stuff like that. So you may not want to do that one, but I still thought it was worth mentioning. We also have Robert Oster Crocodile Green and Rower and Klingner Alt Goldgrün. Now this one is a little bit yellow, it's a little bit lighter, but it's still a really cool ink and it shades really well, so I just like to throw that in there when I can. All right, now let's take a look at Terra. This one was kind of tough because it kind of walks the line between like a red and an orange. So, you know, you might have to use your own eyes and see which colors you think might match best. It was a little tough for me to determine which ones were good, but I think I've got a few good ones for you. So Noodler's Antietam, I think is good. There's a lot of Noodler's colors that are kind of in this range. Noodler's Habanero, Noodler's Cayenne, they're all in this vein of this kind of orangey red, a little bit deeper in color. I think these will all be good matches. You've got Colorverse Martian, another deep color. Urban Orange Indian. This one's kind of nice, a little bit of a dusty orange. LAMY Bronze. So this was actually the special edition color that they had to match their Bronze All-Star. And I think it's fairly applicable here too. Might be a little bit more yellow, a little bit more bronze color to it, but I think it will go. Monteverde Fire Opal. This is one of the more popular Monteverde colors, and I think it'll match pretty well. Monteverde actually has a whole number of different oranges, so I won't list like, there's like 8 or 10 of them that'll probably work. So I'll just list some of them are my favorite. So you've got the Fire Opal, and then you also have Monteverde Mandarin Orange, as well as Monteverde Motivation Orange. I think any of these will be a pretty solid match for Terra. Wasn't too hard to find something that was pretty decent match for this color. So when you're actually writing with the Safari, you can take this cartridge, you can either press it on, you know, with some pressure like so. Takes a little bit of pressure, you hear that kind of popping sound. The other alternative is if you haven't already punctured it, or if you have, I guess, in my case, you can just kind of place it on here gently. You screw the back on, and it's actually made to fit because it's a proprietary cartridge. It's made to fit so that when you screw it all the way down, it actually pushes the cartridge in place and it punctures it there. You might want to wait about 30 seconds or so if your feed is completely dry because the ink has to kind of work its way down with capillary action. If you want to speed it up a little bit, you can shake it down a little bit like this. Don't tap it. You know, just kind of take your hand and go like this. That will help to assist and persuade the ink to go in the direction that you want it to go. Once you've done all that, then your ink should more or less be ready to go in your pen. There we go. So you just kind of touch it to some dots, do some little scribbles, and once it starts flowing, you'd be in pretty good shape. Now, it's always a good idea to clean out the pen first because it's being tested at the factory and they don't clean them out all the way. If you're just inking it back up with LAMY Blue, it's generally fine and it is okay. But it's always a good idea with any new pen just to give it a little flush. This is a LAMY medium steel nib. And this is LAMY Blue ink. I don't know why I dotted my U. I do that sometimes. I write random things. Now, the thing I will say is that all the cartridges that they come with are LAMY Blue. Doesn't matter the pen, doesn't matter whether it's a special edition, whatever. that is how they roll. Now, the way that LAMY does it, they don't upcharge or anything like that for their special editions. It's the same price as all the regular Safaris are, which in the US is an MSRP of $37. We have it for $29.60 at Goulet pens. Now, it does not include a converter, so if you want to do that, it's going to be an extra $6. But personally, I think it's well worth it for that Z28 converter upgrade so you can use your bottled ink. If you're seeing this video before the pens are available, you know, definitely sign up for the email notification list. I don't know exactly how long they're going to be available, just like they do with all their special editions. It's usually about, I don't know, a year, maybe a little over a year that they're around, and then they kind of sunset them. They may bring them back in the future, they may not. It's hard to say. It depends on the popularity and what LAMY decides to do. So I would definitely say if you have these pens, you know, on your wish list, so to speak, I would, you know, maybe slot it somewhere near the top of your list soon after they're released, but don't go too crazy. There should be plenty available. At least we're trying to stock up. So let me know what you think of these two throwback colors. Do you think LAMY nailed it, or did they leave you maybe wanting for something else? And if they did leave you wanting, I would love to hear about it so we can let the powers that be know what colors that you all would still want to see. So please leave some comments. Let me know what you thought of this video and any other thoughts you have about LAMY and maybe future Safari colors. Would love to hear that. Be sure to check out more details on gouletpens.com. And if you like this video and you want more like it, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching, and right on.